One of the most common questions I get is, why doesn't my husband share his feelings? Is he emotionally unavailable? Can we have a deep emotional connection if he doesn't share his feelings with me and if we simply don't talk about our feelings? I will read a post, an anonymous post, that kind of contains a lot of misconceptions, a lot of misunderstandings that we have about ourselves, about men. And I'll read it and we'll just go from there as usual. So, my husband never shares his feelings. He's pretty much an optimist and rarely complains, but I know he has to have other feelings than just being content all the time. He's not very deep. I, on the other hand, am full of emotions. Is this normal? I feel like this keeps us from getting closer. So, first sentence, my husband never shares his feelings. This is super, super, super normal and desirable, even for us as women, and especially as mothers, and like as women in general. This has served us throughout history and evolution, and it has a sense, it has a purpose. Men never had the luxury to be aware of their feelings, connect to their feelings, talk about their feelings, share their feelings with someone. This is a huge luxury we have. So, during tens of thousands of years, man couldn't just wake up and say, I feel a bit anxious, I'm not going to go hunt today. Because the children of those kind of men, they died. They didn't survive. They didn't have anything to eat, right? I'm just feeling off today. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling unappreciated. I wouldn't just go hunt today, right? So this was not an option. Men never had the option to connect to their feelings, to talk about their feelings, to be aware, oh, this is anxiety. It feels like somebody is giving me a punch in the stomach. So they never had this. It never served humanity. We wouldn't be here if our ancestors would have been people or men who shared their feelings and talked about their feelings. Okay, let's go further. So this is super normal and even desirable. You don't want a husband who tells you, you know what, I'm not going to do chores today because I'm feeling anxious. I'm just going to be in bed all day. I'm not going to go to work today. I'm not going to play with the kids. I'm not going to do the groceries because I don't feel like it. I'm frustrated. I'm depressed. I'm just going to be in bed all day. I'm angry, right? Nobody wants a husband like that. He's pretty much an optimist and rarely complains, but I know he has to have other feelings than just being content all the time. So basically, this shows how us as women, we're never happy with anything, right? So here it is, a man who's pretty much an optimist, never complains. Oh my god, he sounds a great husband already. And I know he has to have yes, he does have other feelings, and most probably he manages them. Of course, he's human. He must have anger and everything else. He manages it internally, right? Like he has maybe some things he does, just going away and being alone for a while. He has some things that he does. He doesn't need to talk about them. He's managing them internally, which is pretty healthy and awesome. So he doesn't come to you and complain to you or yell at you, shout at you, treat you bad. He's pretty much an optimist and content all the time. Like he sounds actually, so you're saying he's not very deep. This sounds like a very healthy person emotionally and very deep. Very deep. So somebody who is able to manage their emotions so well and not let their frustration and anger out on everybody else, because we all have them. Yes, it's human. We all have them, but people who manage them. This is called emotional adulthood. So this person is an emotional adult, right? So this sounds like a great person to have around you. He's not very deep. I'm telling you, like this man is deep, and this is the kind of man you want. This is the kind of man everyone wants, right? I, on the other hand, I'm full of emotions. Of course, you're full of emotions. And as women with our cycles and then uh, perimenopause and menopause and like all the things, right? Of course, we're full of emotions. And yes, hormones make our emotions like just blow up sometimes. And it's normal, it's okay. but you don't have to react to it. So I'm a very emotional person too. I used to do a lot of stuff like to react to my emotions, to my anger, to my frustration, to my desperation, to my depression, anxiety, maybe eat or throw things or shout and yell, right? But this doesn't mean having emotions. Having emotions is one thing, which is normal and natural. Reacting to emotions, all the actions that I talked about, right? Like shouting, yelling, that doesn't mean feeling the emotion. That means reacting to it and being a child. So yes, indeed, for us women, it is harder, right? Like we have hormones, we have all the stuff. Um, uh, our DNA is more sensitive. We have lower self-esteem. It is what it is, but we work with it and we want to be mature too, right? We don't want to react to them. We want to feel them, feel anger, frustration, depression, anxiety. Sometimes it's okay, right? But not resist them and not react to them. When we react to them, we don't actually feel it. We make it worse, right? So this man sounds like a very deep man actually, and you sound like, just from what I read, right? Like I don't know you personally, just from what I read, you sound like a normal person who needs to learn to be an emotional adult. Like me, like everyone else, we have to do this work if we want to be in charge of our lives, in charge of our emotions and thinking and actions and everything, right? Like you want to be in charge of yourself. You want to be the one who chooses how you feel, ultimately, how you feel, how you think, how you react. If we would be able to choose, wouldn't we all choose to be like your husband, content all the time? Or most of the time, right? Like, why wouldn't we want that? Of course we would want that. Like he sounds in charge of himself. Like he sounds like he's a person who doesn't choose to get upset easily, or who is able to regulate himself. Like this is super healthy and deep and adult. So the question was, is this normal? As I said, yes, it is normal. I hope I answered the question. I feel like this keeps us from getting closer. No, this is actually something that helps you get closer. You can learn from him. Again, it doesn't mean he's smarter or better. Maybe he had better circumstances. And again, our DNA is not helping us. We do have more anxiety, lower self-esteem as women. It is what it is, right? Like this is the problem. It's still our problem. We work with it and we solve it. The only thing that keeps you from getting closer to him is not accepting him as he is, right? Like trying to fix him when he doesn't have a problem. You have no idea how many depressed husbands there are, or who they don't have a job, don't play with the kids, don't do anything, right? A lot of women, they would do anything to have your husband. But again, us as women, like we're never content. We're never happy. There are so many stories about this. I will do a separate video. So it doesn't keep you from getting closer. The only thing that keeps you from getting closer, I will tell you with a lot of love, is you. So I hope this also feels empowering, knowing that if you is the person who is keeps you from getting closer to your husband, then you can also repair it, right? You're trying to repair or change your husband, but he doesn't sound like a person who needs to be repaired. He doesn't like fixed in any way. This is a person who needs to be appreciated. Like we all want this, right? Like we want to be accepted as we are. So even if he wouldn't be like this, which he sounds to be great, even if he wouldn't be great, like we need to be accepted as we are and appreciated for what we do. So when you will accept him as he is and stop trying to, I don't know, find things to change in him, right? And appreciate him for how he is, like you will feel so much closer. So this is something very important. So us as women, we connect when we talk about our feelings, right? So we think like this is friendly connection. And we think this is how we should feel connected to men. But men are different, brains are different, DNA is different, right? A connection between a man and a woman doesn't mean talking for hours and hours about every detail of every excruciating thing we do in our lives and about every feelings and just talking hours and hours on end. This is not connection. This is, yeah, friendly connection with friends. This is not polarity. This is not deep emotional connection and intimacy with a spouse, with a partner. So you can feel connected even without sharing all your feelings or him sharing his feelings or without him being depressed. You don't need him to be depressed, angry, and frustrated for you to be able to be connected to him. So really, really from the bottom of my heart, I tell you, start like accept him as he is and start appreciating him for how he is, and you will see how much more connected you feel to him. Bye.